The English Premiership, currently known as Aviva Premiership Rugby or more commonly the Aviva Premiership because of the league's sponsorship by Aviva, is a professional league competition for men's rugby union football clubs in the top division of the English rugby union system. There are 12 clubs in the Premiership. The competition has been played since 1987, and has evolved into the current Premiership system employing relegation to and promotion from the RFU Championship, known as National Division 1 before the 2009 Euro 10 season. Clubs competing in the Premiership qualify for Europe's two main club competitions, the European Rugby Champions Cup and the European Rugby Challenge Cup. The current champions are Saracens. The most recently promoted side is Worcester Warriors, who, after defeating Bristol in the 2015 RFU Championship final, returned to the top flight after a one-year absence. History. See also History of the English Rugby Union System. Beginnings, English Domestic Rugby Union until 1972 the governing body of rugby union in England, the Rugby Football Union, long resisted leagues as it was believed that the introduction of leagues would increase dirty play and put pressure on clubs to pay their players. Instead, clubs arranged their own friendlies and had traditional games. The only organised tournaments were the County Cups and County Championship, the former played by clubs and the latter by county representative teams. The Daily Telegraph and a few local newspapers such as the Yorkshire Post compiled pennants based on teams' performances, but as the strength of fixture lists varied, it was at best an estimate of a team's performance throughout a season. 1972-1995, Leagues and Cups In 1972 the RFU sanctioned a National Knockout Cup the RFU club competition, the predecessor to today's Anglo-Welsh Cup followed first by regional merit tables and then, in the mid-1980s, by national merit tables. One of the casualties of the move to competitive leagues was the loss of traditional games as the new fixture lists did not allow enough time for them. The league system has evolved since its start in 1987 when the Courage Leagues were formed a league pyramid with roughly 1,000 clubs playing in 108 leagues each with promotion and relegation. In the first season, clubs were expected to arrange the fixtures on mutually convenient dates. The clubs involved were Bath, Bristol, Coventry, Gloucester, Harlequins, Leicester, Moseley, Nottingham, Orrell, Sale, Wasps and Waterloo. That first season was an unqualified success, with clubs in the upper echelons of the national leagues reporting increased crowds, interest from both local backers and national companies, and higher skill levels among players exposed to regular competition. The fears that leagues would lead to greater violence on the field proved largely unfounded. By the next season, the RFU allocated fixed Saturdays to the league season, removing the club's responsibility for scheduling matches. There was no home and away structure to the leagues in those early seasons, as sides played one another only once. Initially two teams, Bath and Leicester, proved to be head and shoulders above the rest in the Courage League, and between them dominated the top of the table. In 1994 the league structure expanded to include a full rota of home and away matches for the first time. The 1994 Euro 95 season was the first to be shown live on Sky Sports, a relationship which continued until the 2013-14 season when BT Sport acquired the exclusive rights. 1996, the dawn of professional rugby union. The league turned professional for the 1996-97 season when the first winners were London Wasps, joining Bath and Leicester as the only champions in the league's first decade. Clubs like Saracens, Newcastle and Northampton were able to attract wealthy benefactors, but the professional era also had its casualties, as clubs like West Hartlepool, Richmond and London Scottish were forced into administration when their backers pulled out. 2000-2002, Premiership, Championship and Playoffs. The start of the 2000 Euro 01 season brought with it a revamping of the season structure. In 2000 Euro 2001 an 8-team playoff was introduced. However, the team finishing top of the table at the end of the regular season was still considered English champions. Halfway through the 2001 Euro 02 season, with Leicester odds on to win their fourth title in succession, It was controversially decided that the winners of the 8-team playoffs would be crowned English champions. There was an outcry from fans and this proposal was dropped. 2003-2014, the ascendancy of the playoffs equals, from the beginning of the 2002 Euro 03 season, a new playoff format was introduced to replace the 8-team championship. The format required the first-placed team in the league to play the winner of a match between the second and third-placed teams. Critically, the winner of this game would be recognised as English champions. Although Gloucester won the league by a clear margin, they then faced a 3-week wait until the final. Having lost their momentum, the second-placed Wasps beat them easily in the playoffs. The playoff structure was reformatted in the 2005 Euro 06 season, in which the first-placed team would play the fourth-placed team in a semi-final. Since the implementation of the playoff system, only 3 teams have won both the regular season and playoffs in the same year. Leicester in 2000 a Euro 01 and again in 2008 a Euro 09 and 2009 a Euro 10, Sale Sharks in 2005 a Euro 06 and Harlequins 2011 a Euro 12. Of all the Premiership teams, Wasps have made a reputation for playing the competition format to perfection, peaking at the right time to be crowned English champions in 2003, 2004, 2005 and 2008. Wasps did not lead the league standings at the end of the season in any of these years. Indeed, the formerly London club have not finished top of the league since the playoffs began. Conversely, Gloucester have garnered an unfortunate reputation for leading the table at the end of the regular season only to fall short of winning the Premiership title, losing finals in 2003, 2007 and 2008. Gloucester's single victory in the playoffs, in 2002, occurred when the league leaders, in that season Leicester, were still considered English champions, Gloucester's championship victory being considered secondary. The 2011 Euro 12 season saw Harlequins add their name to the trophy on their first attempt, winning 30-23 against the 9-times champions Leicester. With their first ever English Premiership title, they are only the 6th club to win the Premiership since its creation in 1997, the others being Newcastle Falcons, London Wasps, Leicester Tigers, Sale Sharks and Saracens. Leicester's 10th championship would have to wait until 2012 Euro 13, defeating Northampton in the final. The 2013-14 Aviva Premiership season saw Northampton add their name to the trophy for the first time, becoming the 8th different team to do so. This was achieved by defeating Leicester Tigers in the semi-final 21-20 and denying Leicester a 10th consecutive final. In the final they defeated Saracens 20-24 with a try in the last minute of extra time to win the 2013-14 Aviva Premiership. 2014 present, US initiatives with the future of the Heineken Cup uncertain beyond 2013 Euro 14, due to a row between England's Premiership Rugby Limited and France's Eleanor on one side and the sport's governing bodies on the other. Premiership Rugby Limited has explored several moves toward expanding its brand into the United States. In May 2013, Premiership Rugby Limited and US-based Rugby Law entered into a plan by which the two organizations were to help back a proposed US professional league that could have begun play as early as 2014. The first phase of the plan was to involve 2 pre-season exhibitions featuring an American Barbarians side that will combine international veterans and young American talent. The Barbarians were intended to play matches in August 2013 in the US and London, but those plans fell through. The matches are now being planned for 2014. In August 2013, Leicester Tigers chairman Peter Tom confirmed that Premiership Rugby Limited had discussed the possibility of bringing select Premiership matches to the US. Clubs. Current clubs capacity for rugby league games may differ from official stadium capacity. Gold, current Premiership champions. Players. Appearances points tries Structure. Regular season The Aviva Premiership rugby season runs from September to May and comprises 22 rounds of matches, with each club playing each other home and away. The results of the matches contribute points to the league as follows: 4 points are awarded for a win, 2 points are awarded for a draw, 0 points are awarded for a loss. However, 1 losing point is awarded to a team that loses a match by 7 points or fewer. 1 additional point is awarded to a team scoring 4 tries or more in a match. Playoffs. Following the completion of the regular season, the top 4 teams enter the playoff, which is held throughout May. The top 2 teams receive home advantage, the league leaders hosting the 4th-ranked team, and the second-place team hosting the 3rd-place team. The winners of these semi-finals progress to the final, held at Twickenham Stadium. The winner of the final being Premiership champions. Relegation. There is a system of promotion and relegation to and from the Aviva Premiership. The last-placed club after the 22 regular season rounds of the Premiership is relegated into the RFU Championship, while the winner of the Championship playoffs is promoted to the Premiership for the subsequent season. However, promotion and relegation is subject to a minimum standards criteria. If the winner of the playoffs does not meet these standards, then there is no relegation promotion, as was the case in the 2011 Euro 12 season when London Welsh won promotion from the Championship but were denied promotion, reprieving Newcastle Falcons from relegation, until London Welsh successfully appealed against their block. European competition qualification. The top 6 teams qualify for the next season's European Rugby Champions Cup whilst the team in 7th place advances to a playoff for another place. Teams that do not qualify for the Champions Cup play in the European Rugby Challenge Cup. Champions. Between 1987 to 2002 the team at the top of the league was crowned English champions. For the 2000 to 2001 season a playoff was introduced as a separate competition and from 2002-03 the winner of the Premiership final has been crowned champions. All Premiership finals have taken place at Twickenham. Winners. Rules. Salary cap. The English Premiership operates a salary cap, set by the Premiership Rugby Board, specifying the money a club can spend on the player salaries of his squad per season. In the 2014 Euro 15 season, the base salary cap is £4.76 million, with an academy credit of up to £240,000. Players must meet the following criteria for their clubs to use the academy credit: joined the club before his 18th birthday. Under age 24 at the start of the season. Earns a salary of more than £30,000. This means that, for example, a qualifying player who earns £40,000 carries a cap charge of only £10,000. One player may be excluded from the cap calculations. This player must have met at least one of the following 3 criteria: played with his club for at least 2 full seasons before he was nominated as an excluded player. Played outside the Premiership in the season before he was nominated. Was selected and included in the official squad of any national team participating in the 2011 Rugby World Cup final tournament. Several significant changes to the cap system will take effect with the 2015 Euro 16 season. The base cap will increase to £5.1 million. The maximum possible amount of academy credits will increase to £400,000 per club. At the time of announcement, details of the new academy credit scheme were not released Euro specifically, the per-player amount and concurrent cap on the number of credits available. Clubs will be allowed to exclude 2 players from the cap calculations instead of 1. Unlike the first slot, which can be used for a player on a team's current roster, the new slot can only be filled by a player who had not been in the Premiership in the 12 months preceding the start of his contract. Media coverage. In the United Kingdom, the rights are currently held by BT Sport under an £125 million deal signed on September 12, 2012 to broadcast 69 live matches per season for 3 years from the 2013 Euro 14 season. In Australia the Aviva Premiership is available on Setanta Sports. Since the 2008 September season there has been a highlights show on ITV4, repeated midweek on ITV. In the United States, the Aviva Premiership is currently available on Fox Soccer Plus. See also, summary of the current league positions for all English leagues, Guinness A-League, LV Cup, list of English Rugby Union teams, European Professional Club Rugby, European Rugby Champions Cup, European Rugby Challenge Cup, Heineken Cup, European Challenge Cup, European Shield, RFU Championship, Premiership Rugby Sevens Series. List of attendance figures at domestic professional sports leagues. References. External links. Official website, Guinness Premiership Rugby Week, English Rugby Union News, BBC Sport, all-time Premiership records.